Greetings. I am your host, Villain. You are no match for Doom. Kneel before Doom. All who challenge me will fail. Surrender or be destroyed. Often you see things in life that make you wonder, what the hell are people thinking? You know what I'm saying? And when I look around the news and the media and things that's going on around the world, it looks as though at many times people of color are the victims of certain situations. But when you really peel back the layers of the confusion, the chaos, the murders, the violence, who are really committing these crimes? You see, a lot of times we don't want to look at ourselves as our worst enemies. But in truth, the way society has things set up, you can't help but to wonder, are we our worst enemy? Well, that's kind of the topic I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the Negroes and the Negettes out here that are causing all types of chaos and confusion during this COVID situation, during the protesting, during this time when we need to really focus on ourselves and coming together, focus on how we talk to one another, how we treat one another or not. And that's very important, you understand? Because a lot of us never learned how to respect each other. We look at each other like enemies. We approach each other with a violent tone or a disrespectful tone, as in a way of putting one in their place. You are no match for my And this mindset, this ideology where our ego kicks in and we feel superior, may stem from other problems, other situations that we have going on in the world. But for the most part, you are an adult here. You are held accountable for your own actions, your own reactions. How you respond to certain things is how people judge you. Doom does not. Now, I'm not one out here saying that you should do nothing when you're attacked or when you're being disturbed or bothered by someone. I'm one out here saying that if you're the aggressor, if you're the one out here causing the issues, the situations, the problems, then maybe we should take a second look at this. Maybe the so-called brothers or the niggas that are around you are not your brothers. Maybe they're your worst enemies. You see, unlike most people, I'm not going to sit here and play victim. I'm not going to say that my life has been total hell. I served 12 years in the Marine Corps, 3 combat tours. I survived to come home to another war, a war amongst ourselves, a war amongst my brothers and sisters who are warring at each other. How can you say Black Lives Matter when in your very own communities, lives are being taken by those black hands? Some of us could sit here and blame that fuckery on the black female or these females out here, this feminist agenda that's going on with this so-called Black Lives Matter movement. But in essence, we have to address the niggas out here smoking and killing each other over nothing, over neighborhoods that don't even belong to them. And still to this day in 2020, we have a serious situation, y'all. A serious situation amongst those who call themselves our brothers. And it starts with them. It starts with them. It starts with the ideology or the mentality of them feeling superior over their own brothers. And that shit has to stop. If you're one of those people who condone violence, you're out here protesting and then turning it into a riot, you're out here participating in riot type shit, you are my enemy. In essence, you are the one that's destroying the black community. You can't blame this on white cops. You can't blame this on the system. You gotta look internally. Blame it on your traumas. Blame it on the fact that you grew up without a father. Blame it on the fact that your mother was a whore, or she was on drugs, or maybe she was working her ass off doing what she could, and you just felt rebellious. Who knows? I'm not here to make excuses for pain. I'm here to solve it. I'm here to put pain to rest with facts and truth.
Oh,
can you handle the truth?
Will fail.
See, a lot of brothers don't like my material because it doesn't consistently talk about female fuckery. They say it's not red pill, and maybe it's not. Maybe what I'm talking about is not red pill or MGTOW or sysbm or IBMOR material. But maybe what I'm talking about makes sense to those who are really looking at the world the way it is, not what they want it to be, okay? And I always give a little spiel. You don't have to like me, but just remember that the version of me that you created in your mind is not my responsibility. I am who I am. You are who you are. And the world is what it is. So what are we going to do about it? They say action speaks louder than words. So what action do we take to stop or to convince brothers that they are causing their own problems, that they are our worst enemy? Just look at the shit that they're doing in public. Look at the guys out here that's still impregnating these ugly ass females, these gorilla-backed silvers, or these silverback gorillas. And look at the fuckery that's still going on within the manosphere. Brothers fighting at each other, going at each other's throat. Why?
No match for doom.
It's almost as if this pandemic or this plandemic has caused some type of hysteria amongst so-called thinking men. It's almost as if people decided to throw away their consciousness and become zombies. Mindless automatons walking through reality looking to cause death and destruction.
Come here, boy.
This is what you get in many of the so-called black communities out there. And I think it needs to be addressed. I think running from a situation and not addressing it fully only causes it to get bigger. Only feeds into the negative narrative that all men of color are evil and mean and violent and criminals. Well, that shit ain't me. And if you're listening to this, it probably is not you either.
Match for my mere child.
But I feel it's a responsibility of every man out there to take charge of his circumference and all the things within his square. To correct another brother who's out there doing wrong. It's time we spoke up, y'all. Put away the cell phones and stop recording shit. And when niggas start acting stupid out in public, correct them, fix them. Are we not our brother's keeper? There are ways to go about trying to realign this situation in a more, let's say in a more gentleman-like way. But obviously, not everybody can handle that kind of situation. So rather to engage with these monsters, these niggas out here that are violent and crazy, walk away. Let the police deal with them, if possible. And when they get their ass smoked, don't go out there talking about little Leroy or little Day was a good kid who went to school and read his books, and he was a prophet among his community when he was actually a fucking criminal. Nah. See, the villain don't condone any shit like that. And that time is over. So, to those brothers out there doing violent shit, your days are numbered. And I'm just gonna sit back and watch the universe take care of you. Watch the ancestors bring you on home, because obviously your violent nature has no place here amongst those of us who see positive nature, those of us who want a better life, those of us who are constructive rather than destructive. Don't fall for the hype, man. Keep your mind right. Train your body. Prepare yourselves. This is war. An eternal war. An internal war within oneself. That's all I got to say on this one. This is the villain, and I'm out.
You are no match for Boom.